Picture this. You're 35 years old, married for nearly a decade, sitting in your car, in the driveway after another brutal 12-hour shift. Your engine is off, but you don't step out. Why? Because walking through that front door feels heavier than any workload. Your wife hasn't touched you in months. Your kids barely glance at you. Every conversation spirals into an argument about trivial nonsense. You've sacrificed sleep, health, and youth to provide. And somehow, you've become a stranger in your own home. You whisper to yourself, "How the hell did I end up here? Wasn't marriage supposed to make life better? Wasn't this the definition of success?" Here's the devastating truth. This isn't rare. This is normal. And it's not an accident. The modern version of marriage has been reshaped into something profoundly destructive for men. What was once a partnership is now a cleverly disguised trap designed to drain men of their resources, their energy, their authority, and ultimately their spirit. Today I'm going to expose why marriage has become a losing deal for men in the 21st century, and why the men who refuse to sign the contract are, in fact, the ones making the smartest decision of their lives. How marriage turned from partnership to prison. Traditionally, marriage was a simple exchange of value. A man shouldered the burden of providing and protecting. A woman nurtured, cared for, and supported. Each role mattered. Each role was respected. Now, the man's role hasn't changed. He's still expected to be the primary provider. But the woman's role has been dissolved. Men now do double duty, working full-time to finance the family, then coming home to cook, clean, parent, manage chores, and provide endless emotional support. Meanwhile, his wife is free to chase her career, her hobbies, her independence, with no cultural expectation to reciprocate. The result? Men are exhausted, unappreciated, and resentful. They've unknowingly signed up to be live-in employees of their own households. The psychological bomb no one talks about. Here's what society refuses to acknowledge. Men need respect like oxygen. It's hardwired. Strip a man of respect, and you strip him of his soul. This is why men chase status, money, and achievement, not for shiny objects, but for the respect attached to them. Respect is fuel. Without it, men collapse. And yet, where do men encounter the least respect? Inside their marriages. A man can kill himself, working 60 hours a week to provide a comfortable life. But the moment he questions a financial decision, he is dismissed as clueless. His judgment, the same judgment that feeds, houses, and secures the family, is ridiculed. Society calls this normal. In reality, it's psychological abuse. The Authority Elimination Project. Turn on a sitcom. Watch how the father is portrayed. Clueless, bumbling, childlike. The mother? The competent one who always fixes his mistakes. This narrative isn't harmless entertainment. It's social programming. The agenda is clear. Strip men of authority in the home. Reframe leadership as control. And encourage women to undermine their husbands as empowerment. But here's what's ignored. Authority is responsibility. Remove a man's authority, and you also remove his ability to protect, lead, or provide structure. You turn him into a passenger in his own life, blamed for every failure, but stripped of every tool to prevent it. The brutal cost-benefit analysis. Let's be brutally logical. What do men actually gain from marriage today? Companionship? You can get that dating. Sex? Studies show intimacy plummets in marriage. Many men end up in sexless unions. Children? You can have kids without marrying. Social approval? It lasts about a week. Now let's tally the risks. Loss of 50% of assets in divorce. Alimony and child support draining you for years. Loss of daily access to your children. Decreased freedom and authority. Psychological toll of disrespect and rejection. Who in their right mind signs up for this deal? It's like buying a luxury car that comes with no engine, no warranty, and monthly payments that never end. The hidden epidemic of sexless marriages. One of the most devastating realities? 20 to 40% of marriages are sexless. Imagine this. You give up all other women, commit your life to one partner, and then she withdraws the very intimacy that sealed the contract in the first place. You're not only deprived of physical connection, you're robbed of the feeling of being wanted. And the cruel twist? You're forbidden to seek it elsewhere. You're chained to rejection. This isn't about lust. It's about validation. A man without sexual intimacy eventually feels invisible, undesired, and hollow. It's one of the deepest forms of rejection a man can endure. The silent mental health crisis. Chronic disrespect doesn't just hurt. It destroys men's mental health. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. When a man is undermined daily, dismissed constantly, and deprived of intimacy, the result is not just sadness. It's clinical depression, addiction, and even suicide. This is why so many middle-aged men, especially married men, report feeling hopeless. It's not weakness. It's torture disguised as normal life. And here's the most twisted part. Society doesn't just ignore this abuse. It encourages it. Men who demand respect are painted as fragile. Men who walk away are labeled cowards. Men who endure silently are mocked as pathetic. There is no winning, only breaking. The financial and legal trap divorce court is where the mask is ripped off completely. Men discovered that the system isn't neutral. It's rigged. Half your assets gone. The family home awarded to her. Years of alimony and child support. Limited access to your kids. Meanwhile, your ex-wife maintains her lifestyle, often while moving on with another partner. Financed by you. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Marriage is the one contract where only one side has the power to unilaterally destroy the other. The smarter path. So what's the alternative? It isn't loneliness. It isn't bitterness. It isn't swearing off women. It's simply this. Reject the contract. You can still date. You can still love. You can still have children if you choose. You can still enjoy intimacy and companionship, but without giving the legal system the keys to your freedom, your finances, and your future. Staying single isn't fear. It's wisdom. It's the recognition that your time, your energy, and your happiness are too valuable to gamble on a rigged system. The men who thrive in this century will be the ones who understand this. The men who don't will pay the price with their wealth, their health, and often their lives. The final word society will call you selfish for choosing yourself. It will shame you for rejecting the trap. It will say you're afraid of responsibility. But here's the truth. The man who chooses wisely, who protects his freedom, his respect, and his resources, that man will live with dignity, power, and peace of mind. The man who ignores these warnings will become another ghost in the driveway, sitting in his car, wondering how everything went so wrong. Choose wisely, because your happiness, your freedom, and your life depend on it.